Let me tell you something right off the bat. If you think living in the country means peace and quiet, you've clearly never had to deal with an HOA that thinks your property is theirs for the taking. I bought my patch of Texas land after 2 decades hauling gear through hellholes halfway across the world, Kandahar, Baghdad, you name it. So when I finally punched out, all I wanted was dirt under my boots, a sky full of stars, and a fence that meant what it said. No tours, no meetings, just me and 160 acres outside Huntsville, Texas, the kind of place where the biggest drama should be whether the tractor will start at sunrise. But apparently Birch Trail HOA, about a mile down the road, missed that memo. It all started with a gravel road, my road, mind you, snaking across the north field, fenced, posted, and very much private, or so I thought. I'd put up gates, poured concrete bollards after some genius tried to four-wheel it around the barrier, and hammered in enough no trespassing signs to outfit a Boy Scout camp. For a while, that kept folks out. Until one summer week, it didn't. I just finished patching fence out in the west pasture dust, and sweat stinging my eyes when I found a letter wedged in my gate fancy HOA logo like they were sending out stock dividends, all cordially requesting I let their traffic through my soybeans because of road work in the subdivision. They even attached a crayon map showing their shortcut right through my land like this was monopoly, not a real farm. My dog Radar, a blue heeler with more brains than half the state, just stared at the thing like it was a dead squirrel. I called the number. After 4 tries, I finally get Karen Graham, president of the Birch Trail HOA, dripping that tone. You know, the one where she's already decided you're the problem. I told her flat out, ma'am, this is private land. I've paid every tax, fixed every rut. The answer's no. She tried the old for the good of the community spiel, even claimed there was historical precedent. I laughed and said, lady, my granddad would have shot anyone calling his tractor path a public right-of-way. Hung up, thought it was done. 2 days later, I find tire tracks and a splintered sign, fresh ruts cutting through the soft dirt by the north tree line. Trail camera footage. 2 SUVs, one sporting a Birch Trail decal, making a pre-dawn run like they were planning a bank job. I wasn't having it. Hauled in concrete blocks, new signs, the works. Drafted a cease and desist, bundled the trail cam stills, and shipped them off to Karen, 1 copy to the sheriff, 2 just in case. My place wasn't about to become a commuter highway for HOA hotshots. Did that stop them? You can probably guess. Next morning, another envelope, this one duct taped to my mailbox. No postage, just my name in loopy, self-important cursive. Inside a letter, less cordial and a whole lot more, were right, you're wrong. Karen now claimed my barriers were willfully obstructing essential emergency access. And get this, the HOA had a shared stake in my road due to established usage corridors. I had to laugh. Crumpled the thing and fed it to the burn barrel Radar, barking his approval. But now it was chess, not checkers. I spent a whole day at the county records office, came back armed with plat maps, surveys, and tax receipts going back to the 90s, proving in black and white that my road was mine, never public, never shared, never so much as penciled in on a community map. Sheriff got the paperwork, so did the county, and I figured, that's that. If only. A few days later, it escalates. Another 5 a.m. phone call, Karen again. We have an emergency. There's a child in medical distress. Your barriers are blocking the fastest route. Open the gate now. She laid it on thick, but there was something too polished in her voice, too rehearsed. I told her, call 911, that's what you do. Drove out there in the dark, expecting sirens panic. Nothing. No cars, no tracks, just the cold, damp air and a blinking camera light. Checked the 911 logs, not a single call from Birch Trail. She'd faked the whole thing using a kid as leverage, hoping I'd panic and cave. That was my line. I sent the recording, the footage, the letter. Everything to the sheriff, marked urgent. Detailed complaint. False reporting. Attempted coercion harassment. Next day, a couple of HOA board members showed up at the fence taking notes, trying to look official. I watched from the porch, didn't wave back. Now it was war, and I wasn't backing down. Then comes the legal blitz. A guy in khakis shows up, hands me a padded envelope, You've been formally served. Birch Trail HOA had filed a complaint in civil court accusing me of blocking historic emergency access, interfering with shared infrastructure, and violating some Texas easement code that doesn't even apply if the gate's been locked 4 years. I read every page, then pulled out my own stack title land survey, a 2003 co-op dissolution, every scrap of proof. Called my attorney Richard Long, ex-military straight shooter, specializes in land wars like this. They're bluffing, he said. Let's counter-file. By sundown, we'd done just that and notified the sheriff too. And here's where it gets cinematic. I leave the farm one-night tractor on the flatbed when I get an alert from the camera's headlights on my Field 3 sets blowing through the north gate like it's rush hour. By the time I get back, my gate's been cut clean off, tire ruts gouging up the clover. Karen's there flanked by her disciples, barking about emergency egress. I block the exit, call the sheriff. The deputy shows up, looks at the mess, reads my paperwork, and hands Karen a notice of property violation. For once, she's got nothing to say. The next morning, I tell Richard, we're suing. Drafted the complaint for trespass vandalism, false emergency reporting, asking for damages, a permanent injunction, the works. Word gets out, local paper calls, other landowners reach out with their own HOA horror stories, offers of support, and legal funds. Karen tries to countersue, claims I'm running a smear campaign and endangering families. Her lawyer's letters get snarkier. The county zoning board starts sniffing around my barn for made-up violations, every trick in the book. We document everything. Richard adds it all to our growing case. Court day comes. Judge Cordell presides, a no-nonsense Texas tough type, not swayed by HOA sob stories. Karen's lawyer blusters about precedent and community need. Richard rolls out our maps, the trail cam footage, the audio recording of Karen's emergency call, and then twists a statement from a former board member who reveals Karen had planned to fabricate community need if necessary. The judge's face hardens. That may shift this case from civil to criminal counselor. Karen's lawyer tries to regroup, but it's clear the tide's turned. After court, things spiral for Karen. The HOA board ousts her, citing violation of fiduciary duty. But she's not done, tries sabotage, cutting irrigation pipes. I catch it on camera, call the sheriff up my security. Then comes a settlement offer, $5,000 for repairs if I'll let their traffic through my land forever. I send it straight to Richard. That's not a settlement, that's blackmail. Second hearing, the courtroom's packed, reporters, other landowners, folks nodding as I walk in. Richard presents it all, the evidence, the sabotage, the settlement offer. Even a deposition from another board member who admits Karen orchestrated the whole campaign to set a precedent for forced access. The judge's ruling is swift. My injunction is granted, their complaint dismissed with prejudice, and Karen referred to the county prosecutor for possible criminal charges. Word spreads. Headlines calls a ripple of support. 2 weeks later, Karen takes a plea deal for false reporting, trespassing, conspiracy, and document tampering, probation, community service, and a fine paid directly to me. She sells her house, skips town. The new HOA president sends a formal apology and promises no one from Birch Trail will ever bother my fences again. I frame the letter. Now I've got new cameras, a steel gate with an automatic lock, and a sign out front, private agricultural zone, trespassers will be legally harvested. Even the deer seem to know the drill. But here's the thing. It was never just about a road or a gate or even about me. It was about the principle. Stand your ground, and sometimes the world stands with you. So let me throw it back to you. Where do you draw the line? When does convenience cross over into entitlement? And when does a fence become more than just a line in the dirt? Drop your thoughts below. Is this justice, stubbornness, or something else entirely? Let's hear where you stand.